Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase on this Friday edition. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Morning. I'm good. I'm good. Enjoying the Northeast. Not as cold as it was in the winter. Definitely seeing some friends, and we'll be off to Vegas right after the holiday weekend. So hope everyone enjoys their Memorial Day weekend here in the U.S.
You know, one of our mutual friends, more your friend than my friend, but a great guy, Chris Masterjohn, sent a message to you and I this morning on Telegram talking about the $11,000 Bitcoin back. What year would that have been? 2019, perhaps. It was he just reposted an old video that Tone did from the bunker, and it made me so nostalgic to watch the video. And there was I can't remember all the things that you spoke about in that video, but you were speaking about the Arun. So I want to pull the Arun up today and see what the Arun looks like, something that we haven't talked about in a long time that you were mentioning in that video. So I don't know, Tone. I like watching your old shows, and it makes me feel nostalgic. It's a pleasure to be doing the show.
Yeah,
with
well,
you,
if it was from the bunker, it would have been the 2020 time period. So this would have been after the collapse of Bitcoin in early 2020, down to about $4,000 or $5,000, and this would have been the recovery from that. So this would have been 5 years ago, approximately the same time 5 years ago. And Bitcoin, I was talking about how Bitcoin is holding 11,000 with a high probability of going higher from there. So 5 years ago was
breaking.
11,000. Yeah, but the
Yep.
crazier thing is, dude, 2 years ago, no, a year and a half ago, we were at 15,000. Like that's the crazy part, man. And now we're pushing 115,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's. Oh, I was rewatching the show today. I watched actually 90% of that show that he reposted. And you used to do like fucking hour-long shows, you know. And so
The pandemic. I had two things. I had the tequila spreadsheet and doing shows. That's what we really had going for us.
yeah, and I was remembering parts of that show. I've got a great recall of information for some reason, but yeah, it was just fantastic. So anyway, I was just nostalgic for it, and it just reminded me of like 11,000, and we were discussing like, are we looking for a pullback back to 8,500 or a breakout above 12,000? It just puts things in perspective. And I think that now is probably a similar time where in 2 to 3 years time, we might be talking about like, why didn't I buy, why didn't we as a collective just go all in at 100,000, like why not 111,000? Because now it's at 300,000, and that would have been a smooth move like it was at 11,000. But that's what we do. We talk about daily price movements, and with no further ado, let's do exactly that. Look, we've had a slight pullback. I couldn't care less. I am locked and loaded in the bullish mindset right now. The candle is still purple for the phantom signal. We have 2.5 days left to close this candle, and that's fantastic for me. I don't mind the pullback, not whatsoever. Tone, this is the annoying thing that I changed this moving average. I have to figure out a way to save it, right? I did that 128 for you the other day. That's a 7 for me. So let's look where I want my blue line. And then how do I save that? Do you know how to save it?
Did you just lose your? Did you just get out of your screen share?
No. Did I? I didn't mean to. Am I out of the screen share?
Yeah.
Oh, how did that happen? All right, let's try that again. I just moved to the moving average. That this blue line was at the 128, which is down here, insignificant. We're back where we need to be. I really like it on the weekly time frame. I don't have much to say that hasn't been said this week already. It looks really strong for me. I want this week to close as a new all-time high weekly close. I want it to print that purple candle so we can have more upside. As time goes by. This is great. This is why I love alphanumerics. Links in the description below for 30% off. This pullback that we had today came back down and hit the 7 simple moving average, like almost to the dollar. Fantastic. And this is what I want to see over the next 12 hours. Is this going to just come back down when we get to right? People hate when I say this, but we're always slightly above or slightly below the 7 simple moving average on the daily time frame. It has to happen. We're always floating around that zone. So if we get too far extended from it, it makes the first port in the storm for me is to come back and retest the 7 simple. This is how I trade. So I've always traded. It would be the same if we were heading down. Why would we look for the 30 to retest on the downside to the 7? It's vice versa. So this is a perfect, for me to be massively bullish that we came back down, hit the 7, and we've recovered thereafter. Can this go back up and close as a green? That would be the most bullish thing you can imagine on the daily time frame, because the throwback to the 7, the touch to the dollar, and then just to move up. That's great. That's what we want to see in a hyper bullish market. None of the oscillators I care about on the daily. That looks fine for me. So I'm moving down the time frames in lightning fashion, because you'll see this bang. Wouldn't you know it? The 4-hour time frame, the 7 simple moving average on the weekly is the 30 simple moving average on the daily, and it's the same jazz. We came back down and retested it. Brilliant. With 2.5 hours left, let's see what we can do. Looks really, really strong. I've got nothing that concerns me on the 4-hour time frame. Really, really like it. I think we're going to close this week really strong. I'm nothing but bullish. People have been throwing out some incredible bullish targets. I'm just playing it day by day, week by week. But as it stands, I really, really love it. Check out this fantastic promo that we have for Blowfin. Blowfin in June next month will be releasing coin margin trading, which single-handedly my company has pushed them to bring on, because we're one of the biggest coin margin traders on BitGet, and Blowfin is our favored non-KYC exchange. So do your own research there. If KYC is an issue, Blowfin's the answer. It's the best exchange. I think they're really coming up. And when they finally bring on coin margin, I think this is a terrific opportunity to get in on Blowfin. All right, Tone, I'm coming back to you now, mate. I love this pullback. I love this pullback for so many reasons, because it's reset a lot of the bots, which was giving us another opportunity. We took a great bite of the cherry on all those bots. A lot of them all closed out in profit, and now we've reset so we can come back home and catch the next leg higher. Links in the description below for the Discord group and all the bots and all the rest of it. Tone, how are we going to end this week? We green? We bullish?
I'm trying to reply to someone in the comments, but I'm just having massive problems with my technology as always. Hold on.
You could just write F off if that's
No, I'm just gonna answer it. Someone is asking, what do we think about this in comparison to M2 money supply? It's an irrelevant metric. No one should ever be looking at the M2 global liquidity supply. I mean, as the wealth of the world as the liquidity of the country goes up, obviously any speculative asset will go up. And if M2 money supply goes down, that means that the wealth of inflationary assets goes down. It's kind of like, do you look at the correlation between how much money you make from your job and what kind of life you're living? I mean, yeah, obviously, right? Like the more money you're going to make in your job, the better the life you're going to live, like the nicer restaurants you go to and the nicer apartment you will live in. And if you lose your job, obviously you're not going to be able to go to these nice restaurants, and you may have to scale down the apartment you live in. That's kind of like what the correlation is with M2 money supply. Like looking at it, just it makes no sense, because it's literally why things go up, speculative assets go up, and why speculative assets go down. So I'm sorry, but that's just a silly question. And a lot of people are like comparing it to these like global money supply metrics, and it's like, yes, it's obviously correlated. But I'm sorry, guys. This is just it's like how life works. Okay, let's go to screen share. Everything is lagging.
We value you, dear watcher, for the question. Tony's just aggressive to everybody. Don't worry about that.
And no, we do get this question a lot, and it's like whoever is pointing you to look at this metric is just trying to sell a bunch of newsletters or something. It's kind of how it always is. So this is the short term, and here's our long term. Like this green star candle is really, really impressive for me. It's great. It's our second consecutive green star candle, and I'm expecting it to reach its target, and the target is up in the 140s. I do think there will be some pullbacks along the way. There should be a proper pullback from the 115 area, which we almost hit. I mean, we pretty much hit 112, but I don't think it was the top, and I'll tell you why I don't think it was the top. Uh, but from around 115 to 120, I am expecting a pullback down to that $100,000 area. At the moment, I'm just very carefully watching the MRI counts. The weekly MRI counts say there is still about 4 more weeks of upside, approximately. And then we should have a critical pullback. How far can we go in those 4 weeks? I mean, it would be nice if we can make it all the way into the mid 120s, maybe even into the 130s. If there is some FOMO setting in with the Bitcoin conference coming up in Las Vegas and other major news surrounding Bitcoin. But on a shorter term level, we have the daily chart. And the daily chart is saying we have a little bit more upside left. I mean, I drew these arrows like a few days ago, and clearly I should have drawn them a little bit higher because if we do go higher and reach a daily MRI top, I think it'll be over 115 if we go there. I'm going to leave these arrows as is for now, only because of this red day we're currently having. But even this red day is already rising. Sorry, guys, I didn't have time to mute and I had to sneeze. See, this is what happens when I'm back in the US. Like, my allergies are becoming a mess. This is why I don't spend much time.
You didn't sneeze. We spent a week together. I didn't hear you sneeze once, as you do it right now over here in Japan. I'm covering. I don't know if you can see Tone right now. He's struggling.
Yeah.
You didn't sneeze. You didn't sneeze once when you were with me.
No. I was traveling Southeast Asia for 2 months, and I had no allergy issues whatsoever. I am now 3 days back in the Northeast, and it's a disaster. Like, this is why I can't live here. Absolutely terrible. And so this is a red candle. We did crash down quite a bit. Once again, we crashed because of Trump's stupid policies on tariffs. I continue to say it. I continue to get backlash in every comment. I mean, it feels like there is a Trump derangement syndrome in the opposite direction. People think that he can't do anything wrong, and every time he tries to do some stupid policy in regards to tariffs, in regards to the economy crashes because it doesn't like it. Anytime he stops the stupidity, the markets start to go up, which is what's happening basically today with the big market drop because he decided to randomly announce some crazy tariff stuff. And
50%.
yeah. Look, there's a way to do it, but he's just doing it irrationally. And the only reason why the market recovered is because he walked away from the silly policies. And I kept saying that he can't keep doing this indefinitely. He's going to have to reverse his policy because if the market keeps crashing, he won't be president for very long. And neither will his successors. And he reversed the policy. And now he's saying silly things again, but he's going to reverse them again because obviously the markets are going to crash if he sticks to it.
Can you bring up the Arun? I want to see what the Arun looks like. Is that the weekly time frame or the daily that you used to look at that?
Let's see on the Bitcoin chart.
Yeah, and why did you go away from the Arun? That used to be a big part of what you looked at.
I don't remember. I mean, you can't look at everything all the time.
Right. But we used to really focus on that. Let's have a look.
Yeah, but I do need to change the metrics on the Arun. I don't know why the default Arun has the metric at 14. It's supposed to be 25. So
go to the weekly. Go to the weekly. I reckon it'll be right down 20 or something like that. I'm interested. I didn't look at this earlier today. I'm just interested now. if you're new here, the Arun used to be something that Tone really valued. So I'm interested in your take on it.
Yeah, so the Arun, it looks very weird right now on the weekly.
Yeah.
That's some weird crossover here. We have the I don't know what these colors mean. Also, I
I'm
gotta
getting.
make my own, man. Arun up should be red, should be green, and Arun down should be red. There we go. Now we can kind of tell what's going on. So, uh, the Arun has not indicated a trade on Bitcoin in quite a while, actually. It's a metric I prefer more on the traditional markets, uh, at least with the 25. Maybe it should be a little more sensitive, but yeah, so the Arun has not been very useful here because the Arun indicates a bullish trade when you have a bullish cross over the red, but below the 20 or the 25 mark. Even I have to refresh my own memory since it's been years. So somewhere around the 2025 metric. So if we zoom in on this, you
Sorry.
would draw a line.
Sorry.
What
Um,
was that? 11.
that's me. What have I done here? Yeah, I don't like that at all. As I've disappeared out our heads here, I don't like that at all. And it just makes me feel like Socrates' EXA looks much more usable than this as I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, the as I'm looking at the Arun here, it's not. This needs to be at around 25, and they need to cross over. Like here is a bearish trade when it crosses over below 25. And there hasn't been a bullish trade on yet. I mean, this is an exit to the bearish trade, and these are not indications of trades because they're crossing over at high percentage levels. So on the daily, maybe there is a better indication here. So again, I gotta make these red and green, otherwise I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Broadcasting 101 to not give a question without notice here, but I just saw the show today and I remember it used to look quite good, the Arun, but this doesn't look like anything right now.
No, not at the moment. And now I just gotta draw my 25 line. And now we can see if anything, and my computer is of course lagging, so. Yeah, no, this is all over the place. It's
Yeah.
not, it is definitely not very useful
No, it looks hopeless.
for any trading on Bitcoin at the moment, which is probably why I went away from it.
That makes sense. Delete it. Let's never talk about it again.
It's not very helpful here. And speaking of EXA on the daily chart, but it's more of a weekly indicator.
For me, it is. That's not how SOC uses it. I like it on the weekly and monthly. I like it as a macro trend, but
I like it on a weekly as well. And on a weekly, ooh, it's getting a little high there.
you're right.
Quickly.
Hmm. But I think
That's
there's a
something
few
to
more.
keep
There's
an
a
eye
few
on.
more.
Yeah, that's
I
something to
think
keep an eye on soon.
it could come really nicely with the MRI top as well.
So what I really don't like is the pathetic CMF right now. This is dangerous. We have a new all-time high in price with virtually no volume and liquidity to back it up under the hood. This is potentially setting up for a massive correction once we exhaust this run, because there's no way this is making it back to this area. No way. No way. This is a concern. That's a big concern.
I mean, if it went to 140, it would be back up there surely. If it completed the cup and handle, perhaps.
And the weekly scale is, well, as I mentioned earlier, I am watching for this top. This CMF is actually very concerning to me, that we can have a massive correction once the stop is made. Now, we don't know where the top is going to be. I'm following the MRI for a daily top coming in next week, early next week or over the weekend, and a weekly top coming in next month. Now, the CMF on the daily chart is looking very, very good. See, we are reaching new highs. It's the weekly one that is very concerning. I'm going to delete all these lines because they're super in history. And my computer is freezing again. Yeah, so the CMF on the daily is looking very strong. So I still think we have more upside here short term. But, and I really like that all the moving averages have crossed over. But sooner or later, we're going to come down to 128 one more time. And hopefully that 128 is above 100K when we do. But I think there is a top coming somewhere between 115 and say 140, and then a pullback down to 100K. I like this recovery from this morning. We held the MRI support line on a 1-hour chart. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. There should be an MRI top here somewhere, hopefully. No, there wasn't. Interesting. Okay. And let's see if we can make an MRI top on a 4-hour in line with our MRI on the daily. Coming in at the end of this weekend. It is a 3-day holiday weekend. Markets tend to slow down on the weekends, but with this rally, you never know. So we can kind of see Bitcoin go up over the weekend. And the one metric I haven't looked at in a while is max pain. And this run up in price has definitely played a number on it. And max pain is calling for a bit of pullbacks. It's getting a little bit out of hand here. So a lot of the big institutions may be interested in bringing the price of Bitcoin down so they can profit from option expiration. There's option expiration today. And I wonder if today is the weekly expiration as well. It is. This is the big weekly expiration, and the big market makers are taking a big hit today. So obviously, they did their best to drag the prices down because today is when options expire, and the big institutions like the Goldman Sachs's of the world and the BlackRocks of the world are going to be losing a bit when options expire too far away from max pain. And max pain is at 58, probably be around 59 by the end of the day. And I don't think it will make it all the way to 60 by end of day. But still, that's a somewhat of a substantial difference. But yeah, they wanted to make sure that they're not in that $65 range on IBIT. And next week, prices can go up again. Next week's max pain will probably rise a smidge. But as you can see, for IBIT, all of these max pains are still in the 50s. Would be nice to see them a little bit higher. And then it will be more comfortable that the price of Bitcoin will stay higher. Is my camera not up? I'm not sure. Anyway,
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's new. Which button do you push for the that one? No.
No, this one.
There it is.
Yeah.
That was me. That was my bad. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Oh, so this is the one with no cameras. If I do this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. All right. And on the traditional market side, I'm not sure what's happening with my oil chart. Here's gold. Gold is back up, which is, we took a break at the second consecutive MRI top weekly. Gold is now back up to 3,300, and yeah, it's time to be bullish on gold once again.
Well,
Let me check.
how if we close there next week, you should be pretty bullish on gold. That's for sure.
Oh
On a
yeah,
weekly time.
the daily should be back into a green count, looking for an MRI top.
I think that's really positive. Just to go back to Bitcoin for a second, that's what I was looking at with the IBIT max pain, and that we came back down, and as low as we could get was the 7 simple moving average on the daily and the 30 on the 4 hour, and to have a reboot of those really strongly. I'd love to fuck some Goldman Sachs pricks up with a collective juice in it. Bitcoin.
I would really want to see Bitcoin close above 110,000 today, going into the
Yeah,
3-day weekend. I mean, that
me
would be
too.
nice.
Me too. Stock market.
All right, everyone is talking about the M2 situation. No, you can't look at it that way, right? Like yes, M2 is rising, and you're like, well, if M2 is rising, then you have to assume that Bitcoin would be rising as well for the next 3 months. Here's the problem: when the pandemic hits, your correlation breaks, right? So you can only assume that Bitcoin will keep going up with M2 on a 2 or a 3 month delay. But when prices crash, they crash instantly, right? You don't get a 3 month heads up that the M2 is slowly rolling over, and therefore speculative assets like Bitcoin and the stock market are going to slowly roll over like M2 is rolling over. When M2 stops going up, it stops going up the next day. Like if there is an event, if there is a crash, Bitcoin will crash like this morning, right? It didn't matter that M2 has been rising for the last 3 months, and therefore Bitcoin needs to be rising for the next 3 months. When there is an announcement in the morning and things crash, they crash immediately. So it's a one-way correlation only in nice, stable markets, which to me is irrelevant because it's a nice, stable market. You have to, and M2 always goes up in a nice, stable market because the US government cannot, live within its means and is always borrowing money. So again, to me, it's not a very useful thing because it only works when it works. And when it's time
Yeah.
for prices to crash, they just crash. They don't wait 3 months.
Go build a trading bot, which is like the monthly 30 simple moving average crossing the 200. Right. And this is what Tone's saying. It's like, yeah, it looks good when they're all moving up. But the price, it takes a long time for that to curve over to cross. You'll lose a lot in your trade if you're just looking at the M2. It's the correlation is lagging, in my opinion. It
Oh,
won't work.
and people are asking if I'm 100% allocated long right now. Yes, and I've
Yeah.
been 100% allocated long for a while. I haven't mentioned it. I was unreasonably long allocated while we were crashing down to 70. I got caught in the bullish situation, and I just kept it, like, because I knew this was a short-term pullback. So I am now trading the options market. And yeah, no, I've stuck through with the long trade because I will keep you guys posted when I think there's a top coming, and I'm gonna go under 100%. But I was at 100% when I probably should not have been at 100%. But now everything is 100% bullish. All moving averages are up, so everything is looking great.
Yeah, and I'm always 100%. I don't even have a bank account. I'm 100% on the Bitcoin standard. I get paid in Bitcoin. I live in Bitcoin. I trade in Bitcoin, and when I'm not trading, I'm still in 100% Bitcoin. I'm never not 100% Bitcoin. So
We had an MRI top and Bitcoin dominance. That's hence you're seeing, shitcoins pump a bit. I think this is temporary, and I'm still expecting Bitcoin dominance to break all-time highs, or at least 2019 highs, because that's as far back as this goes. I need to drop like DAI from this because it's irrelevant, and I think it's the one that's been around the shortest. I mean, how much liquidity is sitting in DAI? Let me alter this. Let me get rid of DAI because it's an irrelevant metric as well. And I think this chart would go back further if I get rid of DAI.
What's DAI? Never heard of it.
It's I don't know, some stable coin on a shit coin. I don't know. We should get rid of it. Yeah, if I get rid, I won't be able to bring it back, but that's okay. I don't care. There we go. This chart should go back further now. No, it doesn't. Oh man, really thought that it would. Oh, I should bring it back then. That's okay.
Doesn't
I
matter.
really thought it would go back further, but unfortunately, I have to get rid of USDC as well, and then maybe it'll go further.
Let's go S&P 500. Close it out.
Yeah. S&P 500 is pulling back just like with, it hit an MRI top. Look at that.
Yep.
S&P 500 hit a daily MRI top, and it has been pulling back. This is part of a 1 to 4 candle correction. Would be nice to see this gap close, and then it can go higher. This gap might never close. This is why I don't trade the gaps. This gap may never close. If we continue going higher in the stock market, that gap will be there forever. That's a breakaway gap. This is not a breakaway gap to me because it's happening at the end of a little bit of a bull run. But what a beautiful reversal here. Daily MRI buy inside a weekly MRI buy, and up we go. So that was really, really nice. Here's the weekly chart. No, it's also the daily chart. Here's the... No, that's gold. Where is my... Well, here's the S&P chart. Should be in front.
That green diamond. Jesus Christ.
Yep. Also MRI buy.
Yep.
Right there together. Yeah. So here is our MRI buy. Happened one candle, 1 week a little later. Then the green diamond.
Under the pink.
Here we go.
Under that pink line there.
Yeah. I really like the support, and I really like this. Man, I drew this channel 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
I drew this channel 10 years ago, and we're still in this channel. The
Look
only time,
look at the previous green diamond. Jesus.
Yeah. Well,
Christ,
the only time we ever lost this channel was the pandemic.
Yeah, which looked all right there as well with that diamond. Damn.
Well, I drew this 10 years ago. Freaking incredible.
Incredible.
I drew it like around here.
Look at the diamond. Look at the green diamond before that. Shit. And
you got one. You got it here. You got it here.
Yeah.
You missed it. You missed it over here.
Did
MRI got it. MRI got it.
Well, I mean, they're good tools together. That's why we do the show together.
Yeah, MRI and the MRI support line. Look at that.
All right. Friday night. Let's wind her up.
All right, guys. Time to get going. And we'll I might be up at the cabin over the weekend. So I got my event coming up. Let me stop the screen share here. Unconfiscatable in Las Vegas coming up on a week from today, actually. And it's a free event. It's free to go to Unconfiscatable. It's not 7th of December. This is an old graphic from last year's event. And or was it last year's event? Yeah, it was last year's event. Or 2 years ago event.
2023.
Yeah, 2 years ago now. Jesus. I just couldn't find the newer graphics, and I didn't make one for this year. So it's a free event. So if you are in Las Vegas on Friday, just come down to the Nerd. Information's on the website. The poker game has been fully sold out. We have 50 players for the poker game, and that's going to be awesome. But it's a free event. I gotta sign up for midget wrestling later that night, not to participate, but just to watch. I'm not that short, but it'll be a really fun evening. So if you are thinking of heading over to Las Vegas, come and join us for a free event. Lots of cool prizes will probably be given away, even though it's a free event. Maybe we'll auction stuff off so you can support the future Unconfiscatables and join us in Vegas.
Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Let's go. Memorial Day Monday, which means a lot to Americans and not a lot to me. So maybe we'll do a show, maybe not.
All right. Later, guys.